Dr. Noha Belraj served as Dean, Faculty of Business Administration at Asia Pacific International University, Muak Lake District, Saraburi Province, Thailand for more than 10 years. And he is having teaching and administrative experience of more than 25 years. He completed his PhD from Tilak Maharashtra University, India, Six Sigma Green Belt from NXS Consulting, Denmark. He completed his MBA from Andrews University, Michigan, USA, acting Vice President for Academic Administration, VPAA, Church Elder Asia Pacific International University, Church Muak Lake, Saraburi, Thailand, from 2015 to 2017. Stewardship Director, Asia Pacific International University, again at Muak Lake, Saraburi, Thailand, from 2016 to 2017. Awards, distinction, and honors include special honors, Spicer Memorial College, Paradoxa College Day Program, April 15, 2011, Honored Teacher, Spicer Memorial College, September 5, 2010, Plaque of Appreciation for 15 years of excellent service for the Lord as a teacher. Very warm welcome, Dr. Noha Belraj, sir. Please go ahead with your keynote address.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for the kind introduction and also the kind words that you spoke today.
A pleasure.
Let me share the screen.
Please.
I like to also take a few seconds to thank Dr. Prakash, a good friend of mine when I was in India, and is a wonderful person, and he always thinks about me when it comes to scholarly activity and also for presentation. I really appreciate this wonderful organization that has come up with this wonderful theme, sustainable business growth, challenges, measures, and solutions in global scenario. This is covering all what business is around the globe. It's a big scope. The time that is given to me, I'm not going to take more than that time, but I like to turn your attention and your mind as scholars, as thinkers, and also as academician, and those who have joined as students. A warm welcome from my side to listen to this short experience-based lecture, or we can say keynote address. Okay. How to get there from here? This is a very common question that we always have in our minds, and how to get there from here. You know, if you look at micro level, an individual, there are two different aspects. One is what to do for living and how to do that part of living. So what to do for living, and after thinking about what to do and deciding about what to do, how to do that. So the entire thing falls into these two. You can fit in anything. So I just want to remind each of us that it is human living that gets into business, that brings business into existence. If we have no need of anything for living, then we will not make anything like business. So this is the basic fundamental thinking. But how to do, how well to do, how much to do, where to do what we are thinking about our living, it all matters. And how long to do, you know, of course, we are going to do till our strength lasts, till we live on this earth. And it is a continuous thing that goes on and on in terms. So this particular term, sustainable development. So based on this, I like to bring our attention to Patagonia. Patagonia. Now, Patagonia is a global company, produces outdoor clothing, and they produce clothes for climbing, skiing, snowboarding, surfing, and fly fishing, mountain biking, and trail running. So their costumes are designed basically on that. Now, my point is how to think in terms of the first three important terms in our theme, sustainable business growth. In 2015, Dean Carter, and I like to really thank some of the news agencies and others who have done a good documentation on the progress of Patagonia. So in 2015, Gene Carter became the vice president for human resource, finance, and legal. So as he entered the organization, Patagonia, he quickly analyzed and assessed the way how the organization was functioning and the kind of policies and the kind of methods and procedures and the systems that they designed to make the organization to go into sustainable business and also to grow from there. But he detected that the present or the current method is not going to help them. So the future thinking about growth and sustainability was not part of their system. They were having traditional annual performance reviews. I'm just picking up from one area from human resource because of lack of time. So they were following traditional annual performance reviews. And this they do at the end of the year and look back and see how people have performed. But what is the point in looking back and saying when you can't correct it for that year and you think about correcting in the next year? But next year activities are going to be different. So 1 year review, performance appraisal of employees, it doesn't give us a very satisfactory way of dealing and doing things for sustainability. A lost opportunity in terms of they could not correct it in the first place when it was happening, or the next day or the next week. They could not correct it. They're waiting for a year to come to the conclusion of what was wrong, what was right. But this VP, Vice President, Dean Carter, he didn't want to follow that traditional annual performance reviews because it is not something continuous. It is something annual. So he pleaded with the CEO, and he was trying to persuade the CEO to revise the traditional performance management system and encourage to replace it with continuous feedback system. Now, this is so important. Now, I like to bring an example here, continuous feedback system. Now, as human beings, when we were born, our parents were using this system, continuous feedback system. Every day, every time, every moment, they keep monitoring us. And when we go or do something wrong, they immediately correct us, take action. It is happening in the house, but when it comes to organization, they have annual performance review. How is it, why it is so different? At home, we have this continuous feedback system from parents, from our siblings, from our neighborhood, from our society. But when it comes to organization, so there is something that is not completely aligned well with the practices of the society. And when it goes into the organization, it changes into a different system. So this is not unfamiliar to all of us. It is very much known fact, continuous feedback system. But in organization, people have respect and they have some kind of distance. They have some prejudices. And they also have a kind of status based on the levels in the hierarchy where they stand and their performance and their job position, title, all these things creates them in their mind a status. So when people give feedback to someone, they become immediately defensive. Oh, how can you say I'm perfect? That's a kind of mentality. I'm perfect. How can you give me feedback? So we become defensive, and we are not humble enough, and we not always humble enough to take feedback. But in today's world, this seems to be very, very important. So this man, Dean Carter, the vice president, he persuaded the CEO, and he also challenged, and he told, if this continuous feedback system, if it is not going to work in Patagonia, please remove me. I will go out of this organization. So he challenged. When Carlos Ghosn became the chairman and the CEO of Nissan and Renault, you can say he made a proposition and he told, if it doesn't work, remove me. These are genuine qualities of genuine people, leaders who come up and they say. Now, sustainability, it lies not in one thing, but it lies in all the aspects, because any one thing is not correctly placed, it is not going to help the business to be sustained. So there is a gradual exposure to all the elements in the business and correcting it to a point where they attain perfection gradually. So as a result of this continuous feedback system, Patagonia, they made an app, mobile app, and employees they didn't force them. They didn't force the employees to give feedback. They just made it as a goodwill gesture of the organization to go into sustainability. So initially, the feedback was positive, and eventually it became to point out the performance, where we fail, the fail points and the success points. And the feedback was so genuine from manager and from peers that really helped employees to change through learning process. They changed through learning process. They changed what they changed. They changed the behavior in performance. Now, this is something at the heart, at the foundation. So as a result of this, what did this organization do? Setting stretch goals, participating in the continuous feedback process using this app enabled them to increase in their performance, in their productivity. And their main theme was innovation and collaborative technique. It's just simply a clothing. And one day they had a town hall meeting, and in the town hall meeting, the vice president, Carter, he asked the employees, how many of you changed your behavior as a result of the feedback received? And the data is very clear, 70% of their hands went up. So that is something unique. And this is a global brand, and people love to wear this because they don't use synthetic man-made material. They use natural organic material, such kind of developments. They came for sustainability in every area. And they also give holiday during the week, 2 days, and they go and promote and demonstrate in different places about sustainability of the environment, sustainability of human beings, sustainability of human health. So they raise and demonstrate, think about like in Pune, Kirloskar, if the employees go out and in Pimpri or in Aund or in MG Road, going and demonstrating about sustainability and thinking about how to make our place good, better, how we can promote health and prosperity to people. It never happened. In Patagonia, all are simple workers, and their recruitment process is basically based on through friends and the colleagues and familiarity, and they bring them and they make them learn. So this is a short case study I like to give, and the concept I like to present it. When you look at the whole thing, okay, sustainable business growth, capacity to endure. How are we building capacity to endure? The fundamentals of this is in what is our territory of living, human living? Is just only to make money? Is just only to live physically? When you think about territory of living, it tells about the scope and the way how we can live in terms of our territory. Territory is not only physical. Our living is physical. I asked my student this morning in the class, consumer behavior, and they said, "Sir, we live within us." Living is actually inside. And that points out to mental. So we live physically, we live mentally. And another student said, "Sir, we go to market, we go to people's house, we visit malls, and we go to playgrounds, we go and meet people, talk to them. And that is our social living." And the next one is we connect with God spiritually. So we live physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. This is holistic living. You leave any one of these out, sustainability is affected. As scholars, as people who are determined to grow, is there any other thing that you can think apart from these four major dimensions or domains of human living? Physical, mental, social, and spiritual. I don't think we have anything else more. So our living is basically here. So sustainable business growth involves these four, because in organization, we have human beings working there, and all human beings live in these four domains. And this is so essential to address and to make employees to grow in this. And, this topic, the theme is 1 in 3 in the 21st century topic. And it's been always as an important topic in the world. Sustainable, how can I live? We all know we are dying. We are going to die, every day. There's a point of our death comes there. Even we don't want to die, but we die. How to sustain? What did you find? What solution we find? What we believe, all what we believe may not be the truth, but the truth is truth also. So do we know how to identify doing things right, doing the right things? Sustainability has these two principles. Doing the right thing. In order to do the right thing, do we know what is truth and what is false? We can't build our organization thinking something which is false as truth and think of making the business grow and sustain. It is like building an organization on the sand, building a house on the sand as foundation. When the rain comes, the foundation cannot hold the structure. It falls down. We cannot. So looking at the challenges, business challenges. Challenges are dealing with complexities. There are many things put together, and complexities is something that really makes our mind to be boggled and be surprised. So alignment of qualities of stakeholders with enterprise. So there's something that is telling us that challenges are not in one area. It is inside, challenges are outside. It is layered. The challenges are layered one above the other. Like we see the general environment, all the levels of challenges that we have, economic challenge, political challenge, and we can think about technological challenge, ecological challenge. So challenges after challenges, and think about the next task environment that is in the external, customers, suppliers, government, financiers, banks, and we see challenges after challenges. And the environment is so dynamic, it is ever changing. The constancy is only change. There is nothing else. So how to manage this one? And what measures we can take? Committed engagement in learning. Committed engagement in learning, the environment and its stakeholders. We do things with heart. I know everybody, we have our family and we know how we perform. When we perform with our heart, when we perform with our heart, it is so different from performing with our hands. Performance with our heart is so important. So committed engagement in learning, the environment and its stakeholders is so important for us to meet the challenges. If we know what is in the environment and the challenging thing, we can learn about it and we can think of managing. So pathfinders of solutions, organization should be in this category. And the next one, coping with complexity, comes again, finding out the path. And the last one is solutions. Looking at solutions, solutions matters. It is, as we know, it is with different alternatives that we weigh against the problem or the opportunity that we have identified. It's a common thing. It's a known thing, but it works well when it is committed, when it is done with the heart. Dealing with reality with integrity of changed behavior based on knowledge, skills, and ability. Looking at that, as the esteemed presenter who presented before me, you can see he emphasized on hard and soft skills, being human. It is not one thing that makes everything, it is everything that makes that one thing. We should never forget this. That's why committed engagement is so important. Committed engagement, living in the present. We can't live somewhere because in the past or in the future. We need to live in the present. Only those who live in the present can identify challenges, can think about sustainability, and find real solution to the problem. And for that, we need to do right things. We need to do the right principles. We need to have the right habits. Many times we don't highlight these things. It is so important to emphasize these wonderful things about how we can, the right principles will give us the right solution. Teaching ourselves. Organizations engaged in teaching themselves, engaging in a continuous learning, teaching about the challenges. There are endless items in the list of challenges, endless. Anything and everything can be challenges or challenge to someone. Teaching measures and solutions. Do we do this? This is so important. Do we do this? Identifying. So growing in the present matters a lot. And this is a continuous process. Sustainability, what we have achieved based on our set goal in the vision, it's not going to be forever. It is going to come with an expiry date, and that is going to expire in 1 year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. And then we need to set again goal. So this is a continuous process of sustainable business. I just want to conclude this one with a small short phrase. Good person, good business. The ultimate is about how we can become good people. Good people can do good business. And this is how sustainability comes. It is all here. It is all here. I took my students to the King's project in Thailand. And they were thinking about Microsoft, Apple, and their thoughts were big thinking. It is beyond our globe. In the King's project in Thailand, the king of Thailand, the previous king of Thailand, how did he make sustainability? Very simple. He made people to grow from the level in which they are to the next level and the next level. So he made them to learn how to do small business, how to come. I was so shocked to see the King's project. He has more than 5,000 projects for the people. And one of the project is how to rear fish, how to have a fish farm. This is not for everybody. This is for those who are interested. And likewise, he got more than 5,000 different kinds of things where you can think about. So a leader in Thailand thought about sustainability of the country and the nation in terms of good GDP. So I have very limited time. My time is over. And thank you very much, Dr. Prakash and Dr. Manoj Jain. For
3 minutes or more, sir.
Okay. Okay. If there is something that we can discuss, I will be happy to deal with that.
Any questions? Manoj sir, any questions?
If Dr. Noah Belraj sir has concluded before time, I will take this opportunity to not ask any questions, but definitely to comment. One thing I definitely, with my experience globally with multinational and multicultural people, I realized not only is the continuous feedback or closed loop system what I'm working on mostly in enterprise resource planning. That is my major area of research, actually. And more than that, what I have noticed is not the social status or ego problems, openness to feedback, but reluctancy to change and adapt to new things. I consider myself fortunate enough after graduating in 1989 to be a part of almost 3 industrial generations. I have witnessed the tail end of first industrial revolution. I was a part of second industrial revolution and soul-heartedly a full-fledged industrial revolution 3. And now I would also be very delighted and happy and consider myself fortunate to witness fourth industrial revolution. So this is just a comment and feedback. I really cherished what you mentioned. And with your global expertise in both academic as well as industry, what I face the major bottlenecks or constraints, so to speak, I noticed is reluctancy to change. The first thing is no. Before you even say something to a senior or a co-worker or a subordinate, I would actually make it amusing in industries. I say, you know what? You should all have a sign saying no outside your office. Before I step in and even open my mouth, the answer is no. Before even. So sometimes I would say, I came here to inform you that you got a raise. So that's what.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, sir. That is complacency. Complacency, like how we are comfortable in the place where we are.
Absolutely.
We don't want, yes.
Everybody has the comfort zone. Nobody wants to come out of it. And they are counting their days, as you said, it's all about living, how we live, what we need to do, how many more days are we left with. About retiring, then is death, and so on. So thank you very much. It was very nice of you to shed some light, so to speak, on the very basics of our day-to-day living and the continuous feedback system, which we're still lacking in a huge sense. We're still lacking. We still don't have customer satisfaction. After coming from Canada for a few years here, I still notice I purchased 3 vehicles in last 3 years, and in 6 months, some of the other problem occurs. And we're talking of Industry 4 and 4th Industrial Revolution and robotics and whatnot. But still, we are still there. We're still going the old school way. Nobody wants to change. It's all in books and not on the floor, I would say. Okay, without taking much time, I think I made up for the 4 minutes I availed of yours.
Thank you. I could listen to you. Yes.